All right, so we have another question here from Tanya, and I'm going to punt on this question because I don't have any kids. But this question came in, are there any tips on Lean and Kaizen as applied to parenting?
Well, for punting on this, Mark, but I will tell you, I was never a better parent than when I didn't have children. You know, my wife Adrienne and I would always, we joke now because when we didn't have children, we saw our friends with children, we'll never do that when we're a parent. And then, of course, when you actually become a parent, everything changes. But it's a great question. I was thinking through these questions. I'm going to take it in two parts. So part number one is from an email that I just got from my good friend Colby Evans, a local dermatologist here in Austin, who is in Japan right now, and he is a Toyota factory tour. And obviously,
Greg, you cut out a little bit. He was on a Toyota factory tour?
Yes, he took his children to Toyota for a factory tour of Toyota, and he obviously he knows about Lean and Kaizen, KaiNexus from his relationship with me, and so he I'm sure sought that out as part of that. But that's a great way, right? Just to simply expose your children in more formal ways to think of it. The second part to this question, I think, is taking kind of that mindset and that social, that science behind humanity, which we talk a lot. There's several books on the subject right now about a growth mindset versus fixed mindset. Mm-hmm. And so to me, the improvement principles are based in a backdrop and an environment. Right? Is the company a stagnant entity that is the same over decades, or is a company an ever-evolving organism that's growing and adapting and becoming better? And so, if you think that's really what growth mindset's all about, right? And so when I'm talking to my daughter Micah, who's now 6, going into the 1st grade, I'm talking about her. She actually has some homework in kindergarten, still wasn't onerous or anything, but I'm talking to her about doing her homework. I'm talking about her trying to learn how to read. I'm talking about her. They have all these computer programs. They're fascinating math programs and reading programs that are highly engaging to children. That's actually work to help make the brain stronger, right? Mm-hmm. And you do that a little bit every day because that's how you build muscles. And there's this whole great video series, and I'm blanking on it because I was up till 4:30 in the morning last night at an ER shift and didn't get much sleep. It's called Mojo. Mojo has a great, if you type in Mojo growth mindset, all these children's videos, and it shows, I think, some of the really core principles of when we're talking about continuous improvement and we're talking about lean principles. If you really keep peeling back the layers and layers and layers, you're really talking about a company having a growth mindset. And I think teaching that to your children from day one about why are they doing homework, why are they going to school, it's not to learn facts, right? That's not. It's to make the brain stronger, because we don't know what problems they're going to be solving in 5 years, in 20 years, certainly not in 50 years. And they don't need a whole bunch of facts in their head. They need a really strong muscle, which is their brain, to help work on those problems. And so, yeah, right. I mean, your children are essentially, you have this, lifelong experiment that you're working on that you have no way to run multiple experiments on. So you've got to kind of break it up into little parts and figure out what works. And I think that those are some principles I've been instilling in Micah from day one, and hopefully they work.
Yeah. I just looked up, there's an article, and you talk about growth mindset versus fixed mindset. This is from The Atlantic in 2015, saying that you shouldn't praise kids for being smart. Right. That smart kids then, once they get that label, they become really, as it says here, averse to making mistakes. Right. So, well, make mistakes, then I guess I'm not smart. We learn by making mistakes, and so you can. It's better to label kids as being creative or hardworking or things other than
working hard. And whenever she's doing work, it's always and this isn't something that I came up with, and this is this is stuff I'm reading and realizing, oh, that makes total sense. Oh, Micah, I'm really proud of you. You worked really hard on that and did really good work. And that's a whole different message than, oh, Micah, you are so smart. Yeah. And the Mojo series literally walks through that in a message that a child can understand. Quite frankly, it's great for adults as well.
Yeah, and I think there are parallels, and I'll bring it back to the workplace. If somebody is participating in continuous improvement, to me, continuous improvement is not a function of quote unquote intelligence. If you're going to measure that by IQ or education level, which may or may not be the same thing, but to me, being an expert in your own work is something everybody has. I think everybody has innate creativity. They might not label themselves a creative person, but people have the ability, back to the second question, they have the ability to point out problems, see barriers, and help brainstorm and test solutions, as opposed to that being just an activity for those who are smart.
Great question.